this is what a mentor shared with me, this concept called the gratitude paradox. The gratitude paradox, which is often the case, is the people who have the most are the least grateful, and the people who have the least are the most grateful. That's a gratitude paradox. And I'll never forget how I first learned that when I was 15 and I was in high school. I lived in San Diego, California. We did a service trip to Mexico to paint an orphanage. And I'll be honest, Brad, I was a pretty entitled kid, not because we had a lot, but because all my friends had a lot and I wanted it, right? So I thought, that's not fair. I should have a better car. I should have all these things that all my friends have that I don't get to have, right? That's the natural as a 15-year-old. And I go to Mexico and we're painting, we go there to paint this orphanage. And I didn't care to do it because had a heart for service, Brad. I had to check off a requirement for my high school. We had to do volunteer service every year. And I get off the bus and I'm just hungry because we've been on the bus going to Mexico, right? And we're ready to start lunch. And bro, we're surrounded by all these kids, all these orphans who are between the ages of 4 and 10. So think about that. All these kids do not have parents involved in their life. There were like 4 adults supervising 50 kids in this orphanage. So very underserved. And they were so excited to see us. We get off the bus and the first thing we do is we eat lunch with them. And, I speak Spanglish, but they're talking to us. They're showing us all these busted toys that had been donated from Americans to them. And they were showing us how excited they were. And even if you don't speak the same language, we all speak the language of gratitude. And these kids were so grateful that we were there. And I went to go play soccer because they were like, hey, football. So we go play soccer and they had a half flattened soccer ball in 2 rusty tin cans as a goal. And they were just grateful somebody was there to play with them. And I remember breaking down at that orphanage because I thought, how is that possible that these kids have so much less than me and are grateful? And I have all these things that they don't have, and I think it's garbage. That's in my own head. So I think that was a seed early in my life that this idea was planted. But I think when I get to speak to entrepreneurial groups, that's a lot of the experience. Not everybody, but a lot of us. If you're a driver, if you're a salesperson, you are paid on results. So thus, it's common to be discontent with where you are. It's natural. That also has an impact that it's hard to appreciate what we actually have. And so I think that in a lot of ways opened doors with GoBundance. They invited me to be a member there. And then Front Row Dads, obviously getting to meet you and several people. And then I was at an event sharing the story. There was a TEDx organizer there. And they, after the event, said, hey, would you be willing to share your story at TED? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you have to apply for a TED Talk. You're asking if I want to do this? And so I think for me, that's where it was like, okay, there's something really powerful here that is meaningful, yes, to high-level successful entrepreneurs, but really everybody. Because if you're a human being on planet Earth right now, you know how divisive it is. I mean, you said a great point, Brad, which is you're a curious person. I think a lot of us have stopped being curious. We've decided who people are because of who you voted for, because of the type of industry that you're in, because of any number of things. We've decided who people are, so we've stopped being curious. And what does that cause? In a world that has the ability for me right now to pick up the phone and call somebody in India in 3 seconds, and they're going to answer, we're less connected than before. And I think that's on us because in the scope of, society created a lot of these things. So we have to be intentional and conscious about what we allow into our life and how we view the world and how we engage with those that are around us.